Alex White, you're on Half the Battle with Dan and Shaq. How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
That's good to hear. So, man, the fight got announced. You're taking on James Krause. I know there's going to be some hometown bragging rights in that one. You pretty excited about this?
Yeah, I am, and so is everybody in the hometown. I have a big group wanting to go and support me, and I'm ready to have some fireworks that night.
Yeah, and Alex, I'm a big fan of your fighting style, and I was listening to some interviews of James Krause. He mentioned that you guys have trained in the past. What was the extent of that training?
I'd go there and cross train. It's a good gym. It's like a couple hours away. But I would stay there for like a weekend and train, and then come back home. They have a good setup. Training schedule going there, and before the fight was announced, I was actually talking about going there to cross train with them, and then for them to announce the fight and me to be fighting him, I was like, wow, that's crazy how that happened.
So you guys are actually pretty friendly then, huh?
But whenever it comes to the fighting in the ring, both me and him agreed it's business, We're going to do what we do best.
And, man, it's interesting because you're one of the bigger featherweights on the roster, but now you're at lightweight. You're one of the bigger lightweights. So, did you basically have to kill yourself to make 145?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's pretty awful. I think the heaviest I got was to 88, 89, having to cut down to 45. But just cutting that much weight plus training, I was always getting injured, broken bones, pulled cartilage, always something. I had to back out 2 to 3 fights just because I got injured. And since I went up a weight class, no injuries, and I actually have more energy. I feel stronger, so...
Yeah, Alex, and it's pretty evident in your last fight against Mitch Clark, which in my opinion, it could have got a performance bonus with the way it turned out. Going into that fight, were you feeling as if your job was on the line? And now that you got that win, I'm sure you're looking to just move on up from here.
Yeah, I did. I felt like it was either me and him. And then, I still kind of feel that way. And maybe that's a good thing, to get that fire under your ass, to keep it going. But, if I want to climb the ladder, then I'm going to have to, start winning every one.
And yeah, another thing I saw you mention that you started training 3 times a day. So is that something that you just couldn't do when you were fighting at 145?
I had a lot of stuff going on, and I have a job. My coach's wife, Erica, she's actually my boss at my work. So she kind of lets me slide on a couple of things, so I get the morning training in, and then afterwards I get some third conditioning in, and then my MMA class.
So, man, I heard an interview and you said that, you kind of rekindled that flame, that passion for fighting. And, it shows in your performances, man, especially your last 3 performances. You've been looking the best you've ever looked. Do you feel like you really have a lot of momentum going into this one?
Yeah, I do. It's just, you sit back and you watch those fighters do it, and then you always think to yourself, man, I can do it, And I'm right there, I'm already in the organization. I just have to get my butt into gear. So I can be one of those guys that gets up the ladder,
And yeah, Alex, like we mentioned before, you and James Krause are both from Missouri, and you guys are friendly, but we know this is business. Like we said, we feel like you're on the way up, and he hasn't made 155 in about 2 years. Where do you see the state of his career, and where do you see the advantages that you have in the fight?
Yeah, I think I might be a little hard on him to make 145, and I think career-wise, I think he'll be okay. Win or lose. He's got a good name for himself out there. So it's time for me to get my name out there.
So, Alex, how'd you develop your fighting style, man? Because obviously you're a super exciting guy. I've never seen Alex White try to hump someone's leg. I always see you going for the knockout every single fight. How'd you develop that fighting style, man?
I don't know. I guess I had that mentality. Whenever I first started MMA, I didn't have no background. And I know we started out in a little yoga room, really, back in Pilot Knob, Missouri. And there wasn't really much wrestling we could get done, so we worked on a lot of stand-up stuff. And it kind of comes natural to me, so I kind of just stick with it.
I've been listening to some interviews of Krause, and he, seems to think that he has a big advantage on the mat. Your fight with Tony Martin, which was a respectable loss in my opinion, do you think that experience is going to help you in this fight with Krause, who's probably going to be looking to take you down?
Yeah, during that fight, it kind of really opened up my eyes. What he did, he just, I had basic wrestling, defense and all that, and he was just one step ahead of me. He was reshot, try to grind me down to the ground. So that's something that I've worked on and I'm still working on. So, James Krause tried to do that, then, I'm going to have a couple different moves to defend him.
So, Alex, I know we talked about this already, man, but how much better do you feel at 155 pounds, man? Because, I mean, in terms of, your frame, man, you just look so much physically better there.
Yeah, like I said, I'm actually able to train. Because before, I had to cut weight and train. Now I'm able to train and then cut weight. That makes a big difference. Like I said, I got more energy. I'm able to push myself farther and harder. Just overall, I feel tons better. I look better,
100%, man. So your last fight with Mitch Clark, obviously that was the best performance of your UFC career. Was that the best you've ever felt inside the UFC's octagon, man? Because it looked like you were having fun out there.
Yeah, I'd probably say between that one and then my first fight. It took it took a little bit for me to get that fire under my butt, and I have it, and I don't plan on letting go of it.
And Alex, you have a reputation for being, a soft-spoken, low-key guy. Granted, you go out here and get the win against James Krause and knockout. Are you gonna, nowadays we see a lot of guys that are talking a lot. They get the more notoriety, they get the more fame. Are you gonna, speak up a little bit more, or are you just gonna be the same guy?
Well, I mean, I'm always going to try to be the same guy because I know that they worked just as hard as what I did, to them. And for me just to talk down on them, I think it's just disrespectful. So, I'm just, they put up a good fight, and there shouldn't be any, shit talking. They put up a good fight. They put the time in.
So, Alex, when you fought Mitch Clark, man, there was this sequence in the fight where you landed about 15 to 30 elbows in a row. Were you surprised that the dude wouldn't go down?
Yeah, he has a hard head. I know that they're part of the first five. I was thinking I just need to keep this up a little bit longer, and then he'll be done. But he took them all, and he still kept trying to go. He's got a heart, and it's hard to come by.
And Alex, I mean, even your run at featherweight, all your fights were exciting, but one fight in particular, the Artem Lobot fight, at the time, he was coming off the Ultimate Fighter show where he was knocking everyone out, and, his fight against Ryan Hall didn't go his way, but that's because, Hall's the superior jiu-jitsu fighter, but you were the first one to beat him in every aspect in the UFC. I mean, in that third round, I don't know if you remember, I'm sure you do, but he was just dropping his hands, swinging crazy at you. How fun was that?
It's almost like a pissing contest, which I had one of those pissing contests with Lucas Martins, and it didn't go my way at the end. I got clipped. So I was trying to watch out for that without getting too confident, you know? So I'd back up and I try to get one in. Which when someone's throwing bombs like that, that one punch, you know, could be the one. So
I mean,
other than that, it was fun, absolutely.
Where does that mentality come from, man? Because, for example, you know, you look at a guy like Tony Martin, and all respect to him, but he's not down to get into that kind of a fight. You get into those kind of fights all the time. Where does that kind of mentality come from?
It's either, I don't know. I've always been that go, go, go. You know, like why let it stop you? I don't know. I know the first time training, I was doing boxing, and I wanted to get a feel of how it felt, you know. So I got hit a couple of times, and it's more in your head than it is physically at first, you know. And since then, I've always been, well, you know, if I can take a punch and then give him a punch, you know, I try to do that and try to work on my speed to get in a couple extra punches so he can get on me.
So, Alex, in the past, a lot of people criticized you because they said that, you know, Alex stands, you know, straight up in the air. He's very upright and he doesn't move his head. But in your last 3 fights, man, I mean, you've been looking the best you've ever looked on the feet. Is this just a matter of the evolution of Alex White's game?
Yeah, like I said, you know, we've been working. I've been, you know, training 2 to 3 times a day. It's just it turns into muscle memory. You know, like before, I didn't really have that loss, you know, and then you just learn from your losses.
And, you know, during that Lucas Martins fight on the broadcast, it was mentioned that you have a brother in Afghanistan. Is your brother still in the Army by any chance?
He's in the reserve right now. He did 2 or 3 tours, and he's back now, and he's in the reserve.
So, Alex, man, I heard an interview with Krause. He said that he's looking to finish you in the first round via TKO or rear naked choke. He was very specific. What do you think about that?
I think it's all talk until it happens.
And how do you see the fight going down?
I think it's going to be a dog fight. I'm just going to keep the pressure on him. You know, it's going to, like he said, probably stand up at first, and then he's probably going to look to take me down, and I'm just going to have to defend it.
Well, it sounds like you're ready to go, man.
Yeah, man, it's mentally and physically, you know, that's what I'm just trying to get done.
So, I mean, honestly, this is your first fight in Missouri since 2014. Is it exciting, or are a bunch of people hitting you up for tickets?
It's exciting, and I also have people trying to hit me up for tickets, and like I tell them, I don't get tickets for free, you know, not for everybody, so you know, it costs money.
Yes, sir.
Family comes first.
Absolutely. So, Alex, what kind of things do you do, you know, when you're not in training camp, you know, hobbies, things that you enjoy doing besides fighting?
I mean, like during the summer, river, camping, you know, I like to play a couple video games, and then during winter, you know, it's just video games and bonfires.
Oh, yeah? What games are you playing these days?
I like to play Destiny. Kind of got me going right now. That's what the main game I play.
Now, going into this fight, I mean, you've got big wins over Estevan Payan, Artem Lobov, Mitch Clark. Is James Krause the biggest name you fought? And if you did get the win, would this be the biggest win of your career?
I think it would be. Like I said, you know, he's pretty established in the UFC career, and then you know, like when I get this win, I think you know he's up there in the rankings, I believe, and I mean it'll be a big win for me.
Well, Alex, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us right here, right now on Half the Battle. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Let the fans know where they can follow you on social media. I know you ain't been tweeting that much lately, but if they can reach you somewhere, let them know.
Yeah, man, they can always hit me up on my Facebook fan page. I'm starting to pay more attention to it now. It's Alex the Spartan White. And then whenever I get on Twitter, you can get me at Alex_White_145.
Awesome. Well, Alex, thanks again for the time, man, and best of luck in the fight.
And I appreciate it.